This is the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. A station that pays.
This is MC Reggie Fresh from the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. And folks, guess who's in the building? He was born in Louisville, Kentucky. He went to St. X High School in Louisville, Kentucky. Then he attended Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where he studied politics. He initially started law school at Cooley in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He transferred back to the University of Louisville, where he graduated in 2013. He jumped right into private practicing doing employment law. And during the course of the years, in November 2017, he started his own law firm called Abell's Attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Brian Abell. What's going on, Brother Brian? Welcome to the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. How you doing?
Hey, MC Reggie Fresh, man. This is Attorney Brian Abell. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Doing great. Glad to have you on the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on the show. This is the greatest show to be on.
You better believe it. All right, man. Listen. So, what made you want to become a lawyer?
Oh, man, I've always been an argumentative type, even growing up, seeing things, and always wanted to play, why is it this way? Why does it have to be this way? And can we have arguments why it could be another way? And
okay.
I always love to do that.
Okay, so if a person is wrong, you're going to be right, and if a person is right, you want to be wrong.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily, yeah.
Arguments are wrong.
Right, I'm just saying, you just want to, you just like debating.
I like debating, and if they're on the right side, then I like to make arguments to bolster their claims, to bolster their side. But if they're not, then I like to raise other arguments and suggest why they're wrong and come up with better ways to do things.
Okay, that's great right there. I like that. I like that concept. All right, so anyway, you what grade was you in when you decided that you wanted to be a lawyer?
Oh man, I can't call it. Growing through, I went to private school, believe it or not, Reggie.
Yeah.
That kind of kept me in check. I needed some structure and discipline.
Right.
Going through the private school system, and I got that at St. Xavier High School.
Okay.
And going through that track, I think that, that developed my, imagination for what I could do after high school. And that's where I kind of got into thinking, hey, could I do law? At that point in time, I didn't even think that I could do it. I didn't know if I could go beyond high school into college and then go for a Juris Doctor degree. And I didn't even know what a Juris Doctor degree was at the time, but I did know that I was interested in law.
Oh, okay. Then, speaking of a private school, St. X, I went to a private school as well. I went to St. Augustine.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the Franciscan brothers or Jesuits?
It was, in Lebanon, Kentucky, St. Augustine middle school,
Lebanon, Kentucky's finest. That's right.
Yeah.
Strong Catholic community.
Yeah, so I know what you mean. I had nuns coming up. So, matter of fact, I was in school before you was, so it was a little stricter.
I bet it was.
We had a lot of nuns,
man.
man. Yeah, we had a lot of nuns, and we used to have to wear uniforms. And I used to say, dang, I ain't want to wear all these clothes. I didn't want to wear the same clothes every day. The same colors. But
yeah,
when I got in high school, I see why it was great because, mama didn't have to really buy clothes. But when I got in high school, you can't wear the same clothes for real every day now.
Yeah, you get clowned on. You get clowned on if you did that.
Okay, so anyway, man, let me ask you this. So you have you ever had some hard cases that you had to deal with when you were in court and stuff like that? Give me some experience.
I have had some. Yes, sir. I treat every case as being difficult. That's how I approach it because you never know what's going to come up, right? Legal strategy varies from each case. for what may seem to be a minor situation may snowball into something that's blown out of proportion. Of course, I always tell people, if you're in my office sitting down talking to me, something ain't going right? Something went wrong for me to have to get involved in this thing. So
exactly.
I need to touch every case very sensitively, but each case, means everything to me. I approach every case as if it is the next case to change some law, right? Or in other words, your case matters in all aspects. So I approach each case as if it's going to be the most difficult case I've ever had. But to answer your question, have I ever had some very difficult cases? Absolutely. I hold myself out to be a civil rights attorney. Employment discrimination, that's where you find the discrimination laws in Kentucky.
Right.
And the federal counterpart, Title VII. So anytime that you get a case where someone's being treated differently because of their age, race, gender, national origin, religious affiliation, you're going to have strong opinions on both sides. And once you start making allegations that an employer or a supervisor or a boss is a racist or a bigot or doesn't like females or equal pay rights or religious affiliation or national origin, once you make those allegations, which you're going to do in a lawsuit, that's why you came to see me,
right,
or a demand letter, you're going to get a strong reaction. And what someone's automatic reaction to being called a bigot is, no, I'm not a bigot, and they run, they hide, they bury their head in the sand, or they get defensive, and then they start making allegations against your side, right? So
okay.
It's a very contentious area of the law. That's why not a lot of attorneys do this. So, I'm proud that I'm one of Louisville's employment discrimination law lawyers. But I handle cases in every county in Kentucky, but employment discrimination, civil rights stuff gets very contentious because you are making allegations that someone has treated someone differently.
Gotcha.
So they're all difficult.
Gotcha. Wow, boy.
Yes, sir.
It's probably gonna need it's a whole lot of people gonna need you.
and keep them coming, right? And I appreciate your time today on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show
yes,
to get the word out there that if you've been treated differently, call attorney Brian Abell.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, then
I'm talking about.
But let me ask you this, Brian. So now, have you ever had to go like like some attorneys they go at it at each other? You know what I mean? Like I don't see how it would come down to two attorneys fussing at each other when they got different clients doing trying to go against each other in a way through the books. But how do it come out? Some lawyers end up fussing with another lawyer. You know what I mean? How can that happen?
I understand your question, and I would say this, that yes, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it,
right,
I have turned the courtroom into a boxing ring. And, we've gone toe-to-toe with some staunch competitors and colleagues of mine, adversaries.
Wow.
So it has gotten rambunctious in the courtroom. Fortunately, we have a pretty good set of judges here in the Commonwealth and in Louisville. Some nice and fair and impartial elected judges that have had to tone us down a little bit to give us their eye from the bench and restore order to the court.
Dang.
So we have to look to the judges sometimes to keep everyone in check because you're going to have two attorneys advocating for each respective side. Things can get contentious pretty quickly.
Man. Okay,
yes,
yeah, that's what I was just wondering. All right, now a lawyer that's called a public defender, why they catch a lot of slack, man? When somebody say public defender, lawyers they are lawyers just like anything else. So I'm trying to figure out why a lot of times people say, man, I don't want no public defender, which I'm telling you the truth, I wouldn't want none neither, but I'm just saying why,
Sure. I understand your question, and it's unfortunate that public defenders get that type of reputation because they're doing the hardest job possible. The problem is that they're underpaid and overworked. So you get some of the brightest legal minds that enter public service as a public defender to help people, but they're given so many cases that they can't be in every courtroom at any given time.
Right.
So it makes it very difficult. But public defenders or typically someone begins their career, they graduate from law school, and then you take the bar exam, and then you pass the bar exam, and then you get admitted to the practice of law. You go into Frankfurt. That's how it works in Kentucky. You go into Frankfurt, you get sworn in by the Supreme Court, and then you're a newly minted lawyer. You got a big fancy degree on the wall. Now you're saying, what's next? And what's next is you need your entry-level job, and it's great employment to start out as a public defender. You get all aspects of the criminal law. You're handling cases from the ground up. You're on the front line of the battle. Mm-hmm. However, you're getting a lot of those cases because it is right. You get what you pay for. Someone would say,
right?
But they're underpaid and overworked. So they do a very good job. They just have so many cases. So it is recommended to hire a private attorney. You get what you pay for, right?
Right.
So keep that in mind.
Okay.
You want good representation, you're going to pay for it. So, all lawyers are deemed to be competent and reliable. And so you look for an attorney that has your best interest at heart, and you pay for one. But if you can't, the public defenders are good. They're just overworked, right? You need them for reasons because you ain't got no money to pay for an attorney.
Right.
So whose fault is that? I don't know. But, those are some of my thoughts. Some of my favorite colleagues are public defenders.
Right. Okay, let me ask you this now. Check this out. So, have there ever been a conflict of interest? Like, for instance, let's just say I'm your uncle and I'm a judge and you got a case to come in there. How would they do that, or they just let it go? You know what I'm saying? Even though it shouldn't be a problem, but some people will look at it like, well, that's Brian's uncle.
Right.
Will that be a conflict of interest? Have that happened to certain people? Or does it happen in the court?
So what you're talking about is called a conflict of interest. If someone, for example, a judge who's been sworn in to be fair, neutral, and impartial, but before they got to the bench, they represented that client or that client's company, they would have to recuse themselves. They say, I've represented them in the past. I cannot be fair and impartial. They recuse themselves. They pull themselves away.
Okay.
As attorneys, we have a professional code of conduct. You go back to those rules. There's not that many rules, but there's a lot of subsections, and it governs the fair administration of justice. And it says if you got a conflict that you cannot be fair, neutral, and impartial, then you need to recuse yourself. And fortunately, I haven't ran into it that much where I've needed a recusal that hasn't come voluntarily.
Okay.
Sometimes the judge, most of the time, a judge is going to see it, identify themselves, and recuse themselves automatically.
Yeah.
Now, the same is true with the private attorney. If I switched law firms or something and I ran into a client that was at my old law firm or old law practice, I would identify that as a conflict and withdraw. I'd have to withdraw my representation. I would notify the court, submit what's called motion papers, and ask the judge to sign an order allowing me relief from the case. So you just put them on notice. You don't, of course, as an attorney, you have utmost duty of good faith and fair dealing and client confidentiality. So sometimes it gets hairy where you can't disclose what the reason for the conflict is, but you just need to identify, and you might want to cite a rule, might want to cite the rules, and the court should understand what's going on and grant that relief for you.
Okay, that's outstanding. Very great answer right there, man. So let me ask you this, man. I know you in Louisville, you practice your law out there, and so do you go anywhere else around the region if anybody needs you?
Yes, sir. My home base is in DeVille, Louisville. That's where I'm at. I got two offices, one in Old Louisville across from Central Park at 4th and Magnolia, and then I opened the office down in Hikes Point, which is on Hikes Lane and Breckenridge Lane, right in the heart of Hikes Point, right near the Kroger, very active and lively business district there. So I got the two offices here, but yes, I do handle cases in every single county in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Again, people need attorneys that know employment laws. So I get a lot of referrals from a lot of my colleagues out of town that just don't handle this type of dispute, so they send them to me. I'm on some good lawyer referral services where people identify the need for an attorney. They contact me. So I handle cases in every county in the Commonwealth, and I also handle cases in the federal district court in Kentucky and southern Indiana. So I'm not licensed to practice in Indiana State, but I can handle cases in the Federal Southern District of Indiana, which is a federal court. So it's limited types of cases that can be heard there.
Man, Brian, you a bad boy, ain't you? Hey, so
I'm everywhere.
So the money is lucrative for you, ain't it?
Oh, all the time. What can I say, Reggie? Mama raised a very handsome man, and everybody's always telling me that. I don't know what to say. You're making me blush, Reggie. I'm sitting here, and I don't know what to say to that, Reggie. But it's true. I'm an attractive guy. Women flock to me. I don't know what to say, Reggie, but I'm here being trill and practicing some law.
Oh, man. All right, then, Brother Brian. Now, what I want you to do now is give me how can you be reached? What's your phone number if anybody needs you? All that contact, email addresses, and all that kind of good stuff, man. So people can, get a hold of you.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do that, Reggie. I really do. Different ways to get a hold of me. Number one is I got this great website that has some great people help me develop and get up and running. It is www.abellattorneys, and that's an S at the end, Abell Attorneys, and of course Abell is ABELL, two L's there, www.abellattorneys.ky for Kentucky. So we up the ante on that. We're changing the internet forever. We're putting it as .ky for the state, not .com anymore. So you'll find me on that website, and you want to give me a call? It's going to be 502 area code DeVille 242-7185, or you can send me an email at Brian BRIAN at attorneyabell, again ABELL.com. So, or you can get on and check out the Abell Attorneys Facebook page run by my marketing team, Lauren Peace Harris. Send her a message, let her know you like it, subscribe to it, get the thumbs up. We always got some good media content rolling out every day, trying to get some engagements. You can also send a message on there, and I usually reply.
All right, then, man. Now, I want to know, do you got any shout-outs you want to give to anybody?
Oh, man, I got a lot of shout-outs. I don't know if we have enough time to do all these shout-outs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Number one shout-out is the great MC Reggie Fresh. And, I know you got the F on your name, but, I think you need to change it to Reggie Fresh with a PH. I think that has a better ring to it. So, number one shout-out is you, Reggie Fresh. Number two, I'd like to thank my colleague and my mentor, the Honorable Thomas Scott Abell, who got me in touch with you, Reggie. You guys are longtime friends. So Scott has been a mentor to me since I started practicing law back in 2013. He has helped me out every step of the way and gotten me into my offices, gotten me set up with cases, and guided me through the difficult court system and my adversaries. So that's a number two shout out. Number three, I'd like to give a special shout out, in this kind of a joint one. I don't want to put one in front of the other, but my two nephews, Tyler and Cole, who are my sister Penny's boys, and they're doing it big right now, little athletes, and might even grow up to be even better attorneys than me. You never know, right? So the shout out to Tyler and little Cole. And of course, my whole family, absolutely. My mother, my brother, Joey, and my sister Penny, and everybody through that, brother-in-law Rich, and of course all the family, the Thorpes, the Abels, the Harveys, everybody that related to me by blood or just through friendship. All those people, and I don't have time to name them all. And then, of course, all my buddies too: Big Mike Harris, Big Chad McNuts, Mooney, Mike, Brandon, all them, all that crew, PJ. Anybody out there that's hanging out that I hang out with. My boy Kyle Peterson down in the Big BG, doing it big. Andrew, everybody, Thomas. All them people, man. I can't even name them all. So those are the big shout-outs that I got, bro.
All right, then. Hey, man, you know what, bro? I really appreciate you being on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. I need to get a bunch of lawyers. Once they hear this, they're going to want to join. And, we're gonna make it, we're going to do it big this way, too, Brother Brian.
That's true.
All right, now the last question I want to ask you. Can you please tell me what's the baddest station in the land and the station that pays?
The station that pays is going to be the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show. That's a no-brainer.
And there y'all have it, folks. He's coming to you from Louisville, Kentucky, a 5-star lawyer, Brother Brian Abell, right here on the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.
Keep it true.
This is the MC Reggie Fresh Morning Show.